Hey guys, this is Alex, the Comic Hoarder. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for checking out my channel. Over lunch today, I was in a very small town, and there's a comic shop there called, it's a small college town. It's a shop called A Boy and His Tiger, and I would assume his clientele mostly does like magic cards, Pokemon cards, all that stuff, because that's mostly what the guy is interested in. But he gets a ton of new books. He has a ton of backstock, and they just moved locations probably a year ago, and they had all of their back issues, long boxes in the back storage room. So if you could imagine, they just put them out, and they're having a big sale. You know, $1 a piece, 10 for $12. And so the funny thing about it was this stuff has not been looked through. So anything that's brand new speculation has not been touched for a year. So I was one of the first to get to go through them. And I remember back when he had those out at his old store, it was $1 a piece. Fill a short box for 25 bucks, a long box for 50 bucks. And me and my buddy were pulling NYX3s like crazy, the sets. And he was flipping them. I was pulling a bunch of other stuff like crazy. And so anyways, this is what I picked up today, and I didn't touch. I probably looked at about 65% of the stuff. So first thing is just a Millennium Edition. He had a ton of these Millennium Editions, and I passed them up. I was like, nobody wants that stuff. And then a buddy of mine went and grabbed them all. He must have forgot this one, or maybe it was a double. He grabbed them all and made bank on eBay flipping them. And some of these books go for 30, 40 bucks. This one's probably 15, 20 bucks, but still an awesome book for $1. And okay, this one is I'm just gonna cover it up just slightly because I ain't trying to get in trouble, and it's pretty risque. But it's a Batman cover, Detective Comics 832, and it's a really cool cover with Poison Ivy and Batman. With what happened recently with the channel getting taken down, I'm just playing it safe. So anyways, hopefully you guys respect that. Found 4 copies of, and there's so many other things, like they had, this was all just in back issues. There were so many books and piles of books on their new issues. Man, I should have looked for some independent stuff like Animosity, 7 to Eternity. I didn't look for any of that stuff, but I guarantee they had #1s just sitting there because they order all this stuff and it just doesn't sell. Like, here's an example. Lois and Clark #1. So this is the first appearance of Jonathan Kent as, you know, a boy and not a baby. So what's interesting about this is you can compare the Convergence #2 to like Baby Cable, Uncanny X-Men 201, where it's Baby Cable, and this is the first appearance where Jonathan is, you know, a boy or a teenager. So there's that. This book has been one that I've been searching for quite a long time. Uncanny X-Force #4. It's the first appearance of Kid Apocalypse, I believe, and there's some controversy in this book. I'm not sure what it is because it's been over a year that I've been looking for this. But anyways, I was really thrilled to find this, just chilling in those back issues for $1. And the nice thing is there's no questions asked. You bring up a stack of books, counts them up, and no questions. You can even just tell them, I've got 12 books, I got 24 books. That's no big deal. This is just a cool Adi Granoff cover. X-Force, Second Coming, Chapter 2. So I picked that up just for the Adi Granoff. And there you can see is his initials. I will pick this book up every time I see it. It showed up on some people's top 5 covers. It was a recent tag that was going around. So here is that. Final Crisis #3 of 7. It's a J.G. Jones cover. Just really cool Supergirl cover. So this is probably my second copy of this, I think. And speaking of tag videos, my top 50, recently a YouTuber that I watched a ton of back long before I made videos, Omega Shenryukin commented on my top 50. And it sounds like he's got enough It sounds like he's got enough books to make a haul video. I just encouraged him to make one, man. He was one of my absolute favorites. It was Lightning 2288, Omega Shen Ryukin, Hero Hunter Clint. Those guys were epic, and watched them all the time along with Mercenot. And so really hope he makes a comeback. It's been 8 or 9 months since I've seen a video from him. This caught my eye just for the cover, and I don't think this goes for anything, but I picked it up just in case. So it is Girl Comics number 3, Women of Marvel, and so this is 3 of 3. I thought that was a pretty cool cover, and it's Joe Chen is the artist on the cover. So you can get this for cover price or less all day long, even on eBay. But I thought that was a pretty sweet cover. And so check that out. And I just, for $1 or just to be thrown in with a lot, I thought absolutely, of course. So what's also cool about this this place is, so for the Detective Comics, like it's like the shop waits until there's a ton of back issues on their new rack, and then they throw everything, they clear their entire rack off. So there will be like a bunch of Detective Comics, Deadpool, all from that same time frame. And so I was chasing 880. I was looking for 880, and you know, everything was so close, and I got real close to it. I was chasing, I saw a bunch of Batgirl from the Stephanie Brown run, so the Good Art Germ stuff, and I was chasing number 12. It looked like, you know, I was getting all the Noto stuff, you know, 6, 7, 8, and I was like, oh man, they might go up to 12. But then you'd find it in another spot, and so then you'd search through that spot, and I think I found up to 879 on the Detective Comics, and it just reminded me of that because this is an Art Germ cover. So I was looking for Birds of Prey Art Germ covers. So that's that. And yes, I'm still working very, very hard on my X-Men run. It's my focus, but this whole stack was $20, and so it's no big deal. Here's another Birds of Prey 11 Art Germ cover. So that's Huntress and that Batman-looking dude. So it's like Batman and Wolverine's son. I think they had a kid, and that is that guy. He might even be a Golden Age hero. I'm not sure, but there's that pretty sweet Art Germ cover. Okay, I might wait to show that here in a second. 2 last little lots. So I found where the rest of the Batgirls was. So 13 is an Art Germ cover with Clayface. I was pretty darn excited to find this one. This is my second copy of number 4. It's my second copy of all of these Batgirls, but this is this book was going for pretty good money because of the combination of Supergirl and Batgirl. I don't think it's going for anything anymore, but number 14 there, Art Germ. And I pulled it for $1. This is my second copy of this. Super thrilled to have a second copy. And if you see some of my AOK videos where I'm like, yeah! Inside, man, I was probably like jumping around. I don't know what happened when I found this book, but I was pretty darn stoked to find Batgirl 12. Now you can probably get this for maybe a little over $20 on eBay. I would pick it up. If I were you, I would try to find this book. I would try to get this book in your collection because this is a sweet book. And I don't see this one cooling down ever. It's pretty iconic cover already, and it's only from 2010. So six years old, and I don't see this one cooling down at all. All right, last book. Multiple copies. And so I was just going through the R section, and I got to this book, and there was like I was just kind of cruising through the books, and I got to number 3, number 4, number 5, and I was like, wait a second, this is a pretty good run. I wonder if it goes back to number 1, because I know number 1 goes for pretty darn good money because there's a first appearance. And sure enough, Runaways number 1. This is from back in 2003. And so I found one, and I was like, awesome. And I looked it up real quick, and I was like, one just sold for this month, maybe a day or two ago, for $50. And then a week ago, sold for $99.99. So $100. Anywhere from $50 to $100. And then I went to the next one, back. So I just cruised way past these. Found another one. I was like, how many copies of this book are in this long box? I kept pulling them out, and I was just like, boy, what am I going to do with all of these? This is a first printing, no joke, of Runaways number 1. And I got them for $1 a piece. So I picked up 8 copies of Runaways number 1. And I can't remember what the character's name is. I was just looking it up before I started this video. Let me see here. Runaways 1. It's the first appearance of... I'm not familiar really with this series. Nico. Nico. First appearance. I don't know if there's a speculation on this, if there's a movie coming out, if there's a TV show. Heck, there might already be a movie. There might already be a TV show. I have no clue. But I just knew this cover from watching these videos, watching online. I knew this was a special book. And this was like the honey hole of this book. This is where all these books, if it's hard to find, is because they were all in this little town at a shop called A Boy and His Tiger. And they were all sitting there. And like I said, no questions asked. If I went up to the counter and he sees, you're buying 8 copies of this book, no big deal. He doesn't ask. He doesn't look it up. He's not curious one bit about why I would be buying 8 copies of Runaway number 1. But either way, that's my haul, guys. I'll show this book again and this book again. These are my 2 favorite books in the haul, obviously. Super excited to get this. I am probably going to either list a few of these or trade for some Silver Age X-Men. They don't have to be even big numbers. They don't have to be anything expensive, any awesome grades or nothing. But that's what I'm probably going to do. Hit me up in the comments if you're curious about it. I don't really know if I'm going to sell these. I don't know. I might hold on to them. I don't know. I hope I don't hold on to them too long to where they are actually worth just $1. But anyways, there's my haul, guys. Thanks for watching. Be kind to one another, like Spider Grandpa says, Spectacular Spider Grandpa. Please, Omega Shenryukin, make a comeback. We want to see more of your stuff. Oh, I remember too, I was going to give a shout out to AG Surfer. AG Surfer is one of those guys, and sorry, there was water running, so if there was a lot of buzzing going on or a lot of high-pitched noises, that was that. So, AG Surfer has taught me to, if I see a book that I think is interesting, but I'm not really going to pull it, take it out of the box and put it up. There was like 40 long boxes. It was nuts. So if I see something, pull it out and put it on top. He said it's always easier to put stuff away than it is to find it again. So I was fine. I had to stack probably 2 or 3 times as much. I'll probably end up going back. This guy always gives great deals. All his back issues are $1. No questions asked. And this time it was 12 books for $10. So I got 24 books for that price. Anyways, like Spider Grandpa always says, be kind to one another. This community is awesome. Let's keep it that way. You guys are awesome. You guys all rock. I appreciate you all. Sending out my prize winnings. I sent out 2 packages today. I still have to send out Michael Lales, and I still have to send out Collector 27. So anyways, hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you all soon. See ya. Bye.